Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What we are going to do today is we're going to have a look at this cylinder that I purchased from the Duke, Traverse Creek, saw salvage, I think. Sawsalvage.com, maybe. I've got the little thing here. I paid for this with my own money. It's not a sponsored anything. We're going to have a look at this cylinder together because me personally, I have not used this particular cylinder. I have used the chrome plated big bore cylinder. It was top notch, it was good stuff. Saw ran and pulled like a train. But there's the guy I'm talking about. Good customer service, good parts. You guys know I like to share any parts I get with you guys. That's a good deal. I've got a few dealers I deal with, and the Duke is one of them. But not what this video is about. It's about having a look at this cylinder. But first, the saw we're going to check it out on, this is my jonsered CS 2171. Had a good running cylinder on it, still had good compression, but some plating had flaked away on it where it was a repaired cylinder and kind of scored up the piston. Still ran good, still had good compression. I just didn't really trust it long term and wanted to do it back as cheaply as possible without putting something really cheap on it. You can pick this cylinder up. It was a little over 40 bucks shipped to my door, I think. And as you can see in the plastic, I have not had a look at it whatsoever, but like I said, we're going to do that together. It's a 50mm cylinder, generally for a 372 or your jonsered version of that. This is one of his. It was listed as a hard chrome plated cylinder, so I'm expecting it to be nice. I've used his Nickel cylinders, the chrome ones. All of them seem to be what they're advertised to be. Let's see what we have. The ring, that's a thick ring, so that lets us know that this is awesome. That's a single ring setup, like for a 371. Some people may agree, others may not. Generally, the single ring setup will have a little less parasitic drag, make a little more power. We do have the circlips. A lot of people don't like those, but the circlips that come with these kits are always really stiff. And we always trim just a little bit of that tail off regardless of the manufacturer, where it came from. Let's look at the quality of the piston. It's looking pretty nice. That's exactly what we have. We have a 371 single ring piston. That is awesome that that kit came with that. Quality pretty good, about what you would expect. Not too shabby, guys. There's not even really any sharp edges or anything on it. As usual with the Duke's cylinder and piston kits, the piston looks top notch. You could probably hear when I pulled it out of the cylinder. Fitment on that's pretty good. Doesn't get a lot better than that. Wrist pin, nice polish on it. A lot of people don't look at that. I like to feel the fitment. It's nice and snug, not too tight. Expect this to be a pretty good looking cylinder. Alright, our camera says we're focused, so we're focused in. Plating looks good on this one. I like the upper transfers. I'm just trying to spin this slow so you guys can get a look. And I'm not pushing this or telling anyone to go buy it. We're going to do the port timing and all on it. Intake port. You know, there's room we can improve with our port work and texture work and things, but so far so good. Exhaust port. She could use some cleaning up, but Not bad, not bad at all. A lot of people are going to want to see that chamfer. I don't know how close I can get in this camera still keep a focus. Boy, that chrome's shiny. Let's step it down just a little bit. See if you guys can get a look at the chamfer. I know people are going to want to see that, to know if you can just pull it out and put it right on the saw. I think so. I think you'd be okay. I'm not seeing anything real sharp. As you can see, the plating goes all the way to the squish band, which means we can cut quite a bit of material out of the band if you choose to do so. Okay guys, with that out of the way, hopefully we got some good footage. What I'm going to do is put you guys on a brief intermission. Gonna get the piston temporarily on the saw, get a couple bolts in the cylinder, and we'll check the squish. Alright guys, get that bolted down on there. Fresh solder. I like to check right over the wrist pin. I don't know, that's just me if I don't have a ring on it. Well, we're touching. Not touching a lot, but we're touching solder. See if we can get a little better mesh than that. We'll get back here out of the way. That one's going to need some machine work. If you can read it and it doesn't move, we got like 45 thousandths squish. If it moved or you couldn't read it, 45 thousandths. I tried to show the camera, but sometimes those digital finders, it's kind of hard to get it to pick up on screen no matter what you do. But anyway, that's a little loose. We'll be doing machine work on this. I honestly plan on doing quite a bit of machine work. Depending on where the upper transfers fall, I'll kind of tell the tale on that, on what I do. But that's pretty loose. I probably don't know that I would put a base gasket in. I guess you could. If you do, I'd make sure it's a thin one. But next thing I'll do, we'll get set up and see where the port map on this cylinder is at. Now, if you have an aftermarket saw, your deck height could be a little different than a set of OEM cases, but from jonsered to Husqvarna, they're identical. They made up the same. The crankshafts swap in and out the same. The same bottom end. Alright guys, I check all port openings at 10 thousandths from the intake to the transfer ports. That's just how I do it. That's how I've done it. It's consistent, works for me. Do whatever works best for you. But we're on top dead center. I've got my degree finder on. Alright. Got my feeler gauge in the very dead center of that intake port. There's a reason behind that. Most ports have like an oval shape. It's best to check from the dead center of that port. We're going to zero that out. We're going to spin it around, and we have 140 and a little bit of change. We're just going to call it 140. It's like 140.1. Which means we're going to back this finder up to 70 degrees, and of course be pretty dang close. Should get an intake opening point of 70 degrees. There we are, dead smack on 70 degrees in the very center of the port. So that's what we're going to write down. Intake opening of 70 degrees. I start with the intake because it's easier to zero out the degree finder. Guys, exhaust port, transfer ports, and I'm not going to lie to you, I've checked both of those off camera already several times. This is what it is. but we're gonna do it together here again. Again, our 10 thou feeler gauge dead center of the port. This thing has a really late exhaust roof opening of 105.8. That's, may as well call it 106. Is probably what I'm gonna write down initially. A scenario like this, it's a couple of thou, or a couple of tenths, I guess it's okay to round up. And it's got a really, really late transfer opening as well. Not knowing how well this one's going to modify, but the earliest opening is, I could get it's like 131, and it's the back transfer on the left side's opening just a little bit earlier than all of the rest. The rest of them crack around 132, so it's probably just like a little bit of the chrome plating in there. But where we're at on this, that's kind of just to show you guys this. Alright guys, so that's kind of was my goal with this video. Probably short video, but I am going to get into the build on this in some other videos. We may get a little more technical and see what we can squeak out of this cylinder. I wish the upper transfers opened a little sooner, but you know, I ain't saying not to buy this. I ain't saying to run and buy it. I'm just showing you the cylinder. You can take your own assumptions from what I showed you, but I think he has these listed at 41 bucks or something. I think once it's said and done, like 43 bucks and some change came out of my bank. So, you know, that's pretty cheap for, you know, it's the plating and it looks nice. Could it use a little cleanup work? If you're picky, you could do some cleanup work on it, but looking at the chamfers on it, fitment of the piston, I just, no doubt in my mind, you could probably just bolt it right on the saw and run it. The squish is a little loose, but you've got a low exhaust roof, so it's going to keep compression and torque probably right there in that stock area. So you know, base gasket delete and do a little cleanup work on it and bolt it on. Muffler mod, you know, it'd be an okay running saw. Is it going to be a racer? No. But could you cut some firewood with it? Yeah. As always, thank you guys for watching, and everybody have a great day.